Is there a difference between short-term and long-term visions? Depends. Hello and welcome to Titanium Tarash Tarot, and today I will be doing another insight, okay? The difference between long-term and shorter-term prophecies. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, right, I mainly get metaphoric visions. I don't actually have prophecies yet. Or a different perspective is that time is so malleable and so changeable that you can shift everything in an instant by making one different choice. So what might have been a prophecy might easily turn into a metaphor. What do I mean by that? When I say metaphor, I'm talking about something that could be similar but isn't exactly the same thing that you're picking up on, okay? Or it's slightly different but means exactly the same thing. I don't know if I'm repeating myself at this point, but when I think of an accurate prophecy, I feel like that thing that you saw, that insight that you got, is going to be exactly done word for word, or vision to vision, or image to image, right? Well, I mentioned yesterday of a reader that is fairly well known, not a reader, but a fortune teller. I don't know why, but every single time my thumb comes out, it's like I'm giving a thumbs up. In any case, on the screen. But what I'm saying is that I talked about Nostradamus. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, but the thing is that Nostradamus did see something crashing into towers, right? He coined it as flying fish because he did not have or something along those lines, because he did not have the vernacular of what is an airplane, right? It looked like a fish, but in midair. Now I'm getting an image of, if you've seen Endgame, or of like Avengers Endgame, the ship was an actual living thing that looked like a big animal that was flying through space, right? Yes. So maybe they got that from that idea. I don't know. But in any case, and it's so difficult when you are actually prophesying, like when it's a prophecy, when it is an image of a future that you have not experienced yet yourself. You don't know how to describe what you see in that vision, so you are going to get colorful, you're going to get descriptive, you're going to try to explain what you see, but you're going to have a little difficulty doing that because you haven't experienced it yet, which is something I also talked about yesterday in the video, as a difficulty that readers experience in trying to get what they saw, trying to get across what they saw. You see, I did also mention that a lot of readers don't necessarily give context to what they saw. They just tell, like, I don't know what, but I know that when I get a vision, I try to be be more descriptive and try to get in as little as my own perceptions as possible, and as much of how should I say it, as much of a descriptive way of putting forth the idea. And as I said, there was I think I mentioned two examples. One was a person who was like, I don't want you to explain too much, so I don't like having people like say what they saw exactly, so I needed to be a little more general in my explanation so that the person could take the lesson or the understanding that my guides wanted to put through with that vision. And on the other hand, I also spoke to someone who I explained what I saw to, but this person was more open and receptive to what I was giving them, as what I saw. So it's going to depend on the person that you are conveying the message to. You're going to have to gauge and think depending on what they want, okay? Now, if you also think about it in a different perspective, you want your prophecies to not necessarily be fixed. You want them to change and evolve with the person that you are giving a reading to. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that, let's say, so you as a reader, you're trying, well, I don't know about you guys, but this is me. When I give a reading, I try to give practical tips on how to better deal with situations. So I give advice, but it's up to them to utilize it or not, Well, it also depends on how I feel within the interaction. Do I feel like I can say what's on my mind, or do I feel like I have to be very careful with my words? So there's that part as well. You have to kind of gauge how your audience is going to respond to what you are saying, and you're going to have to decide, is this the best time to say these things? Because as you noticed, everyone has their own circadian rhythm, and you best know what time would be best to deal with them. And if these are clients you've never seen before, well then this is important for them to know, because if they don't necessarily feel up to par, or if it's not the right timing for them, to get the best out of any reading or any interaction, they need to be able to know themselves, to get the most bang for their buck, right? So it's kind of like in everything in life, you have to know yourself as much as you have to know the person in front of you. So, but what is also you need to know is that long-term visions and long-term prophecies, like I said, there are so many moving parts. There are so many different things that go in line. So the fact that Nostradamus, alright, had a vision of the Twin Towers being crashed into by airplanes at that time, where there was no concept of airplanes or no concept of Twin Towers, no concept whatsoever. I don't know, I haven't read that text. I don't know what exactly was described by Nostradamus, but I'm pretty sure something similar the imagery was very similar. Two skyfish crashed into things, right? Now, first of all, the fact that he was able to see this was he was really tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to the possibilities of this universe, this verse, this one song that we're all a part of. Okay, this our timeline. And so I'm thinking aloud at this point. If he was so tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to this one timeline that he could see a probability, not a factual thing, but a probability that might happen hundreds of years later, and it actually coming true meant that the world was already on a path to something. Now we don't know what else is going to happen. I have no clue. I haven't really gone deeper into those types of predictive texts or predictive stories or whatever. But what I do know is for someone to have seen something so far off into the distant future that the planet was already on a trajectory for all the things to come into alignment, for that vision to come true. I mean, it just boggles my mind, but I mean, I don't have that long-term of a vision. My vision is pretty metaphoric, right? So it has no any term possible. It's just a metaphor. But I wonder if there was an actual probability of it becoming a actual prediction, or should I say a metaphor instead of an actual prediction. Because maybe he had not seen skyfish. I don't know what he saw. I have to read that text, but I mean, just by memory, I'm like, what could Nostradamus have done for him to better convey the message? Well, he did describe what he saw, which was two flying fish. In his understanding of what he knew at the time, might have been two flying metal fish, right? I mean, just the idea of it is hilarious. But I guess that's the best that he can do. It's just being general with your description. That's basically it. Being general with your descriptions and being accepting of all interpretations. I mean, a reader or a seer only says what they see, but the interpretation of it will depend on every single person, which is what they say in readings, which is take what resonates and leave the rest, and don't try to make things fit. So, I mean, it only makes sense, right? Okay. So, now, this is helpful for all those who are trying to get into becoming readers, who want to expand their own gifts of foresight, their own understanding of of the things that they see, of their prophecies / metaphors / visions, like all these things. What's the difference, right? This helps with you, with those individuals. And always keep on learning. Always keep trying to push your own boundaries. See what else you can pick up from other readers. Because everybody has a different way of reading. So if a reader doesn't really respond to what you want, then you can just go find someone else who's more in tune with your message, okay? With your way of talking. So, my gorgeous triple tears, this is all that I have for you guys tonight for this video series. If you like this and if you'd like me to go deeper into your specific situation, please contact me at the email in the box below, and it would be my pleasure to assist. In that same box, you'll find a little description of this video and the email you can send donations to on PayPal if you feel so called. And with that being said, my gorgeous triple tears, I wish you guys all a very good night, and I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.